Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to The Crossover. Starring Josh Johnson and Chris McGill. Featuring Christina Thorson. And of course, you, the Instagram live chat. Now, sit back and enjoy this week's edition of The Crossover. Powered by Card Ladder.
Two fingers.
It's working.
It's working?
I think so.
Sweet. I'm on my cellular data rather than my Wi-Fi in my apartment.
Well, who joined first?
Let's see if I can see that. It says JGP Collectibles joined first, even though Snowman made the first comment. So.
Well, that's ridiculous because it was me.
So how did I not see that? It was you. It was Cardboard Chronicles.
Your video is like 10% better than last week, but your audio is like 100% better.
All right, well, we'll take
it.
Couldn't get any worse.
I love the screenshot that he ended up using for the clip on YouTube. So he like garbled it.
Yeah, he prepared the viewer. All right. Today is Friday, February 3rd, 2023, 2/3/23. And we have any mail days?
Nope.
I have two small ones. So we'll do this very
How about you do?
Okay, my first small one, courtesy of 610 Sports Cards, is a Frank Ntilikina Optic Gold out of 10 rookie. So thank you, Justin. Ever since I posted about Frank, his minutes actually have gone down to 0. So love it. And then the other card is an absolute 1/1 McCaffrey. And this one is from 2020. I've now got the 2019, the 2020, and the 2021. There's more than one of one in some of those, but got at least one from each.
I was going to say congrats on your first 101 McCaffrey, but I don't think it's your first.
Yeah, I'll have to check my records and see. I think
it's like 37 or something.
Yeah, maybe got a few more than just one McCaffrey 1/1. All right. Announcements. Do we have any Card Ladder or business-related announcements?
Christina, does anything we want to say about what we launched this week or no? No? Okay.
Because it's not ready. Josh and I are working on something. We'll update you when it's ready. Mint is coming up.
What level of excitement should we have for this new thing?
Pretty freaking low.
Low? Okay.
Yeah.
So
yeah. We'll see.
A lot of people. That's why,
Okay. All right.
It's for me and Christina mostly.
Yeah.
It's for our own personal sanity.
Oh, I know what it is then. All right. All right, yeah, I wouldn't be too excited if I was in the audience.
Yeah, I would not be excited at all.
Well, we're excited. It's our show, so get over it.
All right.
Yeah,
well,
so Josh and I are excited about this, but yeah.
Happy for you.
Yeah, and today's our anniversary.
And today, that is an announcement. Happy appiversary, as Christina called it.
Yes, don't forget, we do have an app, and it's on both Apple and Android.
It is. It is. 2 years running as of today.
2 years running now.
Well done. Josh, I remember when you were building that out, and
he was a little grumpy during those days.
Yes.
Those days?
Do you remember that stuff with Apple, though? Apple is just like, ugh. It took like 2 weeks to get that app through.
Yeah, that's right. I do remember that. Oh, man. All right. Well, let's get some questions because we have a multitude of them. So the first one I'm going to go to is just we can warm up with some of these topics. 3 questions, all from Baseball Card Exchange, short and to the point. And let's just pick and choose. You know, he gave us 3. Maybe we accept 2 of them. You know, maybe we take 1. So he says off-season quarterback carousel. 2, the impact of the scoring record on Kareem's cards. And 3, the launch of Fanatics live platform, or at least the announcement of the law. So do you want to accept any of those? You like the ball handler in a pick and roll. Are you taking the screen or are you rejecting the screen? you want to take any of these?
What if each of us take one?
All right, each of us will take one. Which one do you want?
I'll take the Kareem one.
Go for it.
I don't know that it'll like directly impact his prices, but I think it's a fun side effect that we get to appreciate Kareem during this time. You know, LeBron's obviously the obvious thing to talk about, but Kareem is kind of being brought up in like these top 3 conversations. Like, I know you and I engage on some of that a little bit with some like the stats, and he had some crazy stats with the, what was it, like the bold ink test that you had?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And I heard like Nick Wright talking about him a lot. I enjoy it. His stats are insane, man. And he played like 22 years in the NBA, or 23 years or something crazy, right? So
Yep.
he had an insane career, 4 years in college. I'm not sure that it'll impact his prices though. I generally like don't ever get excited about single events impacting prices of players, just because it takes such a long time for things to move up and down in this market.
100%. One of the hard things about appreciating players from previous eras is figuring out what the standard is that we want to use to measure players. I think like the most basic entry-level standard, which is still a good one, is like how many championships did you win? And Kareem is very strong in that category. He's got 6. And then if you go to MVPs, he's also got 6 of those. But it starts to get a little complicated because I think he's only got 2 finals MVPs. Mm-hmm. So it starts to get a little bit murky. How do we – but I think if you really reach that level where, you're going on his basketball reference page and you're seeing how much black ink shows up in his advanced statistics, meaning like how many times did he lead the league in different categories. It's overwhelming how many times he led the league in win shares per 48, box plus minus, and value over replacement. Like this guy had a reign of dominance that was almost Brady-esque, to give us a football analogy. So I've definitely, as we're having lots of GOAT discussions this week and next week, and not just in basketball, but in football too, I've gained a lot of appreciation from just going over the basketball reference pages of Kareem and Dr. J. Mm-hmm. Those 2 guys have really moved up and into my interest. Okay. I'll take Fanatics live launch.
Okay.
And Christina gets the offseason quarterback carousel. I'm just going to keep this really short and sweet, as Christina frantically Googles.
No, I'm not. I'm not Googling.
All right,
I know what I'm going to say.
All right, so this is actually, like, this has the potential to be a tectonic shift in our industry, even though it doesn't really impact us as day-to-day collectors. But Fanatics announcing that it's going to have its own live shopping network, and that's going to be coming out later this year. Obviously, there's huge implications for this because within a few years, Fanatics is going to be the entity determining the allocation of all the baseball, basketball, and football product. And so if they want to funnel that product to their live shopping network, that's huge. But so they announced it. It's starting later this year, which is going to give it a lot of runway to ramp up into when they take over all 3 of the big sports licenses. So that's huge news. It's interesting business-wise, and it's worth reading about. Wall Street Journal had an article about it. CNBC had an article about it. And it matters to like breakers and card shops and hobby influencers who are going to try and find the way that they can keep their business going under these new business conditions. So do you have any thoughts on Fanatics live launch, Josh?
I do not. I've never used those platforms before, so I don't really have too much interest in it.
And Christina will quickly tell us about the off-season quarterback carousel.
I knew he was going to do this to me. As soon as Josh said, like, I'll take Kareem, I was like, this fucker is going to take the live launch, and I'm going to have to do the QB carousel. Okay, Tom Brady, retired. What does this mean? Nothing. Retirement's already baked into his prices. They were since last year. Okay, Trey Lance still is shit. 49ers don't really want him, but they bought him for too much money, so they're kind of stuck with him because no one else wants to pay for him. Purdy is injured, and that kind of sucks. Jimmy G was caught smiling during the game when Purdy was injured. Yeah. So he's happy. Aaron Rodgers is still Aaron Rodgers. He's not happy. The Packs aren't happy, but they're going to keep him because what else are they going to do?
What about Derek Carr?
Derek Carr, I don't know where he's going. Obviously he's been cut. Maybe Indiana. Does Indiana want him? He's basically now Phillip Rivers. He'll be easily replaced halfway through the season if this team that picks him up doesn't pick up another draft pick anyway. Who else?
I think that's good.
Okay, awesome. See, I told you I had takes.
All right.
Derek Carr to the Colts would be hilarious because it would be 5 years in a row of replacement veteran quarterbacks.
Stacking slabs, about to have a new PC.
I feel bad. He's got Rivers, Matt Ryan, Carson Wentz PC. This poor guy has 17 quarterbacks to balance.
None of those are bad quarterbacks to collect. They all have had really nice careers, especially Matt Ryan and Phillip Rivers.
Before they got to the Colts, they had nice careers, is what you meant.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. All right. And all right, here's something a little more topical. From Drake's PC, he says, I've seen several accounts recently post top 5 QBs of all time and include Patrick Mahomes in their top 5. And he is accurate about this. I'm pretty sure a few people on ESPN said Mahomes is the second best quarterback of all time. And Nick Wright is tap dancing around the idea of saying that Patrick Mahomes is the best quarterback ever. So Drake says, is this a case of recency bias, or can a case be made that he is top 5 all time, regardless of what happens in the Super Bowl on Sunday?
Well, you can dance around the topic of saying Mahomes is the best quarterback you've seen play a game or something like that, a single season peak or whatever. But it's really hard. Crossing the line of saying top 5 all time is different. Now you're talking about career accolades, and you got to really start comparing volume stats, which he won't have yet. He's only been playing 5 years, so that's kind of ridiculous.
Yeah, it's fair. I mean, it's apparently really hard to balance being excited about a transcendent young player and not saying that they're the best player ever.
You just he can't help himself. He's the best ever.
But look, I did this for Drake's PC. Since I researched it, I'm going to turn it into 30 seconds of content on the show as well. So here's a little comparison of Drew Brees, who maybe is in people's top 5, maybe not, and we'll compare it to Patrick Mahomes. So here's how many times each of those quarterbacks led the NFL in yards. Brees 7 times, Mahomes once. Here's how many times completion percentage leaders. Brees 6, Mahomes 0. Touchdowns. Brees 4, Mahomes 1. Yards per game, Brees 6, Mahomes led twice. Passer rating, which is not a great statistic. Brees has led twice, Mahomes has led 0 times. And when you compare the highest single-season QBR of these two quarterbacks, Brees's peak eclipses Mahomes. Brees had an 82, Mahomes had an 80.3. Not to take away from Mahomes, all right? Terrific quarterback. He's got many years to eclipse Brees's numbers. But let's put some respect on the guys like Brees and others, Steve Young, Joe Montana, etc.
Yeah, does Mahomes have more playoff wins than Brees already? I bet he does.
I'm sure he does, but, playoff wins, they're good, they're impressive, but playoff is such a small sample. The regular season is a small sample, too. Look, I'm not trying to take anything away from Mahomes. 4 or 5 straight AFC championships, 3 Super Bowl appearances. Give the guy all the credit in the world. But let's not put the cart in front of the horse. What do you say to that, Josh? You have anything to add?
Well, I just was waiting for this to turn into a Drew Brees, Peyton Manning topic. We did it without Manning.
I had to pick Brees for our friend Drake. But if you go on Football Reference and just eyeball the black ink of, Steve Young, Drew Brees, Peyton Manning, Tom Brady has the single best season ever played. His 2007 season has the highest QBR. These guys did some really impressive stuff. So yeah. I'm gonna shill for the old timers on this one.
As someone who doesn't collect any of these players, I would be way more tempted to jump into the Mahomes collecting pool. It's just because he's playing right now. He's in the middle of this crazy run. He's obviously very exciting.
He is, man. I've got a few Mahomes cards, like a select gold and a couple other ones. Special player. Very, very special player. And, if you're collecting active players, you want to collect guys who are going to be going to the Super Bowl, half the time. So,
Yeah.
But if he wants to keep pace with Tom Brady, he has to win this year. Tom Brady averages a Super Bowl every 3 years for 23 years.
This is crazy stat. He averages a Super Bowl appearance like every other year and a win every 3.
Right. Exactly right. Okay. Moving on. Goat Collector would like to know, what is your Grail card right now and why?
This is a fun question. We get asked it probably once a month or so. It's the 98.99 Penny Hardaway PMG. What's it called?
Gem Master.
Gem Master. Sorry, having a total brain fart. Gem Master.
Yeah, that's a Grail, all right. That's a real Grail. We know what Christina's is.
I have 2.
No, you have 1.
1, 2.
All right.
It's like I have real Grail, and then I have the card that I've been fucking searching for fucking ever, and I want to finish this fucking rainbow for.
Stiff, get the beeper ready.
So the first card is the 2020 Prism Fast Break Neon Green out of 5 Maxi Kleba Prism.
All right.
And then the second one is the 2018 Prism Black with Adoption.
Nice.
Oh yes, that's a Grail.
That's a Grail.
That's beyond a Grail. Mike, we're blessed by Mike Gio past his bedtime. Many hours past. Here's my 2. Le'Veon Bell, Prism Black 1 of 1 rookie. It's a BGS 10, and this card's been in my mind for a little while. And then the other one is McCaffrey's NT Shield, RPA 1 of 1. And I renewed my offer on it this week.
So your 2 cards are known to exist. Christina and I's Grails, we don't even know if they exist.
Yeah. I kept it a little more realistic than you guys.
Yeah.
That's all right, though. All right, let's go. Ben, Cross Country Runner 1. Ben always brings a little spice.
He does. I was just going to say that. He's spicy lately.
He's spicy. Yeah, I've seen him in the chat, too.
I know where this one's going. He's like, are you even a collector? Are people even real collectors?
This one, all right, I'll just read it. What % of accounts in the Instagram card space do you think actually collect and are passionate about cards compared to just collecting for likes and attention or being addicted to the 10-second dopamine hit that they get from sharing an expensive card as a status symbol? I see some accounts posting new high-dollar cards almost daily, and to me it's like, how could you possibly be enjoying them with such a rapid pace of acquisition? But they're high-dollar cards, so they consistently get more likes and attention than some of the die-hard collectors I know, who genuinely cherish each card and curate a thoughtful collection.
Isn't the 10-second chase of a dopamine hit, that's like what a collector is anyways? That's part of it.
I think that should be the show title.
Oh, thank you for writing this down.
10-second dopamine hit.
Thank you for reminding me to write this down.
10 seconds.
This is a hard question because it's like, if you're going to take the time to make an Instagram account and spend all this time posting, you probably are some level of a collector, right? You probably have some passion for it. I don't know that you'd spend all that time, so I'll say like 90%.
Yeah. If we broke down collecting and its social media component, like if we broke it down into all the different pieces, most of it's just going to be stuff that makes you feel good, whether it's the dopamine hit of sharing it or, somebody leaving a comment saying, oh, this card's awesome, or, the friendships that extend from posting your stuff. Like, it all kind of just comes back to like a pretty selfish and simple little, like, this makes me feel good. So I want to tread like carefully to not like be too critical of that, because like, what are we doing here? We're just collecting cards because it makes us happy. But I think like the spirit of the question is like,
How many are posers?
or how much of it's cloud chasing? You know, how many are really here for the cards, and how many people are just like, hey, this is like a less douchey way for me to show how rich I am than if I were to like show my Ferrari. So this is fun. You know, so I think that's the spirit of the question.
Do you have a number?
A number for what?
The percent. That's the question.
Yeah, the question is what percent?
What percent?
Actually,
Whew. You said 90?
Yeah, I did.
Holy shit.
I'm not that high.
What did you say?
I'm probably at like 40. I am very pissed off with the social media of the hobby and the takeover by people who don't actually collect cards and don't actually like cards, but pretend to or have money and then buy cards for like, just because you have money and you buy cards does not make you a collector.
Dude, you are going off tonight. You know, Christina was like, I'm not sure if I'm going to be in there for the show tonight. You had some takes ready. I'm with you, but like the only thing I would say is like there's a lot of great card collector pages that just maybe have a few hundred followers. They don't have a lot of visibility, but like they've got a ton of cards. So I'm gonna go more closer to Josh's, honestly, like 70 to 80%. But if the question was like like what gets the most attention and visibility, then I'm more on your side. This seems like half of the attention gets given to, you know, I spent $80 bazillion on cards this weekend.
Well, you don't think weird fights of punching on a basketball court has anything to do with sports cards, or?
Right. We did get a question asking if we were going to sponsor the boxing match.
That's just like,
I have no idea what you're talking about, and I really could give two shits.
She doesn't even know what we're talking about. Wow. So you have found a way to...
I'm seriously, like, muting everyone. Like, I am so sick of hobby social media.
Christina's feed is just her posts.
No, it's, like, a very limited, curated, like, actual group of collectors who are posting cards and the stories behind them. Because I'm just sick of all of this bullshit that's all around.
Okay. All right.
If you're not here for the cards, leave me alone. Just don't.
That's a fair ask.
that's a good title. Just don't.
Here. Christina, just leave me alone. Okay, all right. Mad City Collector. I didn't even do this on purpose, but we're gonna get. We're gonna get. Fuck you. Hell no. I will jump off this balcony if that happens.
Dude, there's a lot of things that could happen that are going to force you to jump off that balcony.
Dude.
We've got a list of like 4 things now.
There's still time to break this lease and move to Denver. All right.
You texted me that the other day. I knew from context what you meant, and all you said was, I think I picked the wrong city. And I was like, oh my God, you're talking about the Nuggets game right now, aren't you? You wish you would have gone to Denver instead of Dallas.
It was literally a coin flip at one point, like over the summer.
And you know,
Denver's like freezing cold. You got elevation. You guys would be like struggling to breathe up there. The altitude.
No, Dallas has been really, really great. But the thing about Denver, the people who work for the Nuggets organization were really nice. They were like, "Do you want to meet any of the players?" You know, they were really like going out of their way. Whereas like we had to like beg the Mavs organization to even like let us buy tickets. So
yeah, whereas Denver was like, "You want to meet Jokic? We could do that." It
was really different. Okay,
it's probably the ownership group that really brings that culture all the way down.
Right. Say no more. 2 back-to-back questions featuring the topic of dopamine, and I didn't mean to set it up this way, but Mad City Collector says, the dopamine hit. Ooh, we were talking about these dopamine hits. The dopamine hit after acquiring cards that are venerated by the hobby is very real. But do you find yourself on a higher plane of collecting when you get the same rush from acquiring cards that are less appreciated by the mainstream?
Oh, man, maybe I just don't have that higher plane of intelligence. I don't. I gotta be honest. I get that spirit of that. I just, for some reason, like I just don't get that same high anymore from the lower. I like it. I love putting them in my binder. I just don't get the same rush.
And you know, on a certain level, you shouldn't. You know, there's two levels. Number one, there's a reason, usually a good reason, why everybody agrees that certain cards are the best ones. And then the other is that you feel more connected to the community if you are in agreement and consensus with the community. So there are good reasons to feel the most satisfaction out of getting the most coveted cards. But on the other hand, in the spirit of like Emerson and Thoreau and the great self-reliant thinkers, if you're able to be totally self-reliant and you get the same satisfaction of doing something way off the beaten path, and you legitimately do, that's great. That's really, really great. So, but I'm with Josh on that one. I definitely get the greatest satisfaction of the most coveted.
But it doesn't mean. Notice I didn't say the price or the value of the card. Like you said, it's more about like I get more excited about like a Todd Gurley Shield logo man, Shield rookie auto, than I would like a low end LeBron card, for example.
Yep, that's a good point. Okay, Card Shop Dad wants to know, how early is too early to mega bid?
Too early, like before it ends?
Yeah.
Like anything after 10 seconds or before 10 seconds are left?
Exactly. The mega bid I think it's almost imperative that the mega bid is a snipe, because if it's not and somebody's thinking about shilling that auction, they're always testing the waters. They're always trying to bid up the highest bidder to right underneath their highest bid using incremental bids. So that's, you want to snipe. You want the mega bid to be a snipe. You don't want to give shill bidders the chance to bid you up to your max. So,
did you see the question?
We talking shit about Niners?
No, well, he came in firing at me. And I said, it's all good, it's all fair. Since last week, he came in as I was firing at his
You
Eagles.
were trashing the Eagles, yeah.
So I said congratulations to him and his Eagles. So he said, oh, that's right. I'm so fucking popular, I forgot that you were shitting on me and my team.
Because we need to talk about Josh Johnson getting that concussion.
Yeah. I was going to say, none of you guys even asked how I'm doing. You just fucking roll through the show without even asking how I'm doing.
I know.
Then what if the lights behind you bothered me? Didn't even bother to ask?
I didn't want to bring up a sore subject, because you were when you got knocked out of the game with that concussion, like it was 14-7 and you were pushing to score a touchdown. So you were looking real good.
On my 14th team, I feel like I'm really finding my place in the league. This is the one, 14th time's the charm.
You know what, Josh? I expected more from you. Tua had 3 concussions this year alone, and you just left after 1. Can you try harder, please?
I'll be on a different team next year. Don't worry about that.
Did you have any sense that you were going to have to come into that game on Sunday?
I find a way into every team's game eventually, so I was running out of time with the Niners. This is my last chance, so yeah, I knew.
Nice.
Rookie injury is bad, though. He's getting Tommy John surgery, man.
Yeah, that's a terrible injury.
He might be out for a year.
Yeah, that's rough, man. He's on a rookie scale contract. He has $77,000 in guaranteed salary.
He's like a teacher.
Yeah, and he gets it's $3 million over 4 years, and so that could be like the greatest blue balls experience in the history of pro sports. If you go 9-0 as a starter who finishes games in the NFL, get all the way to the NFC Championship, get knocked out of the game because of a UCL injury, and then just never have anything else. That would be
I did see. I saw people on Twitter and people on Instagram talking shit that, why isn't he getting back? If he's playing, why can't he throw? Like, why isn't he back in there? And it's like, oh, it's not so shitty anymore. The guy has a torn UCL. It's like he's out for a year, man. You gotta trust these guys a little bit. I mean, these guys are like the toughest people on the planet, and if they can't play, that's probably because they're really badly injured.
Yeah.
Dude,
Yeah.
Lane Johnson like retore his groin and still finished the game.
He keeps shredding that groin.
I'm pretty sure if I tore my groin, I would just be like lying on the ground for like a month straight.
I don't know how any of these guys keep coming back from these injuries. Like, it's and the pain that you play through. Like Herbert had the cracked ribs this year. Like,
And his shoulder,
dude, I tore
too, right? He had shoulder surgery.
cartilage next to one of my ribs a few months ago, and I was such a baby about it.
Yeah. You really.
And my job involves sitting in a chair.
Yeah. Like the other day, even I don't remember what it was.
It's still tender from
yeah,
time to
but
time.
he was like, "Ow, that's really tender from my injury."
He coughs and he's like, "Oh, it's bad today, babe. I need your help."
All right.
Ben has a good point. That's a good potential title as well. Shred that groin.
I did right now. Oh, gotta stick to the script. Yeah. Yeah. I'm glad we finally know that the NFL is scripted.
Yeah.
Arian Foster.
After my team loses, I always feel it's scripted,
Yeah. Yep.
Adam, that is inappropriate, Adam.
Just imagine how many people would have to be in on that. How many people would have to be in on a fix across the league?
Especially if they're just like cavalierly sending out scripts to people, like so the evidence just exists everywhere,
No, you would just need the refs.
But that's not the theory. The theory is a few players on every team are in on it. There's Magnus in the ball.
A few players? It's 11 on 11 football. There's like a million variables. It's like impossible.
Yeah, but then Arian Foster spoke up, so.
Roger Goodell just like hitting his button that has a red Chiefs logo on it. He's like, "Come on, I can't have Burrow in the Super Bowl again."
Dude, people got to be careful. In the age of social media, people have to be careful with like the meme conspiracy theory joke. So Lamine made that post about Beckett's CEO saying, like,
Oh, yeah.
why would you ever send to any other grading company when we have subgrades? Total meme, total joke. You can't find him saying that quote anywhere. It's a joke. I was on Clubhouse the other day, and someone, a very smart and good friend of mine,
Quoted that.
repeated it, and he quoted it. and you know what? I can't blame him because like Lameem's post got reshared to like other legitimate hobby. I'm just like, you got to be careful when you put out the joke conspiracies because that shit trickles down and people can think that it's real.
Well, if it doesn't show up on ChatGPT, is it even real?
So you dove into ChatGPT a little
No,
bit this
don't.
week, didn't you?
Oh, that is not the right way to say it. I was with a friend today, who, by the way, he knows nothing about cards, not involved in cards, and we were talking about it a little bit, and he's like, explain to me why you like cards so much. I don't get it. It's just cardboard. Why does it have so much value? And it was funny trying to it is hard to explain to someone who knows nothing about it. You're like trying to talk about like the prestige of certain cards, the rarity. You're trying to like compare it to art, I guess, is like one of the lame reasons. But then he asked me about ChatGPT, and I was like, let's try it right now. We like log in, and I asked it to make like marketing content for Card Ladder for like selling subscriptions or whatever, and it just like spat out this whole long thing about it. It was actually, I thought it was like decently impressive.
It was good. Yeah, it was.
He didn't forward it to me.
I'll send you the picture. It's pretty funny. I mean,
ChatGPT has replaced you. So.
I mean, if ChatGPT wants to replace that one function of my job.
That one, I've seen some of your responses, Christina. It would not do any of that stuff. That's too nuanced.
Oh, no.
But all
No.
I said was like sports card, application, marketing like I used probably like 4 or 5 keywords like that. And it started talking about how the app tracks the value of your collection. You know, it makes adding cards to your collection very easy. I never used the word collection, so I was able to go down the path of like, you know, understanding it was an app to track your collection value.
Yeah, no, it was good. It was good stuff. I came up with this analogy.
yours was less successful.
Mine was way less successful, but because I asked it like a question about statistics and it failed. But look like ChatGPT is to marketing copy, as the calculator is to basic math functions. In other words, we don't need to do math in our heads anymore because we just break out the calculator and what's 17 times 32? You know, I can quickly calculate it. And that's what ChatGPT is to marketing copy. You know, you don't need to sit there for an hour and bang it out because ChatGPT can get you 90% of the way there.
The like long-term pitch of it, or at least my understanding of it, is that it's supposed to be, you know, like the ideal state is that it's supposed to be Google without sort of the need for me to like dig through Google and find the answer myself. It's supposed to just like give me the answer. The problem with that is if you're wrong, like more than 1 out of 10 times or 1 out of 100, like people are just going to lose total faith in it. Like people will just have way more faith in themselves to like, here's a bunch of options and I compared it to Card Ladder. We're not going to tell you the price. We don't know the exact price. Nobody can know the exact value. Well, here's a bunch of tools and a bunch of results. You can kind of figure it out for yourself because in the end, you're the one that has to decide what to sell it for. You're the one that has to live with your own collection. You should be able to say what it's worth, right?
Right.
Same kind of thing here.
I wouldn't even give it 10 tries, Josh. I mean, 1 to 2 would be my max, and then once I proved that it was wrong, I would laugh every time someone brought it up to me.
That's kind of where it's at. So like that's why it's funny that people are going to start just like pigeonholing it into marketing content because they can't really get that right or wrong. You know, it's just sort of like marketing content garbage, and so
yeah. There's a weird clamoring in society right now for the one right answer to everything.
Yeah.
You know, there's the one right answer. We don't. There's not multiple sides. This is just, This is the right answer. This tool is going to tell us the right answer, and we all go along with it.
Yeah.
Because society.
And it shows up in cards. When, you know, there's the one right price. You know, this is what the card is worth. This is the one right answer. Don't need to tell me how you got it. It just is what it is, and we all go along with it.
It's like that in every industry.
Right. Right. Dopamine is the answer. Yeah. Okay. Next question. Drake's PC says, what are your thoughts on PWCC allowing bidders to place their initial bids in extended bidding instead of requiring you to place your initial bid prior to the deadline, allowing you to participate in extended even if you didn't bid prior to the deadline?
Isn't that just like bidding? Like, isn't that now like it's not really extended bidding anymore? It's just bid is open longer.
Sort of.
No, because like the eBay format has like a set end date that doesn't end, and extended can go on infinitely.
Yep.
That's the only difference now. I mean, as a buyer, it's great, right? Now I don't have to worry about like logging in super early and like doing all this homework up front and figuring out what I'm gonna bid on at the what if I like get the impulse at the last minute to be like, oh, I want to bid and I can't for some made up reason, right?
Dude, totally. I mean, I am lazier than most, but a lot of times I don't even look at what's being offered in an auction until the excitement level is up and it's in extended bidding.
Exactly.
There's been plenty of times where I'm like, I would drop a bid. You know, the blood's flowing now. We're 30 minutes into extended.
Are you FOMOing at that point? Is that what you're saying?
As the great Carbon once said, never FOMO, never YOLO.
Can I give you my theory on how this is going to turn out for prices?
Sure.
I've thought about it. I think it's going to and make prices exactly the same. Here's why. One, people always end up getting to the final price like as a unit based on like where the last comp was, where the market's moving. And we have a 20% BP on cards, and people are doing that math in their head and still getting to the same comp. You know what I mean? Like we have this crazy math we all have to do, and it still kind of like eventually gets to about the same price. And then secondly, more people are eligible to bid at the end, which is great, and that should, in theory, increase the price. But there's less people that are forced to bid at the beginning and move the price up. So, like, you're just moving the bidding from the beginning to the end.
Yeah, that's an excellent point. Ultimately, we are going to end up at the same damn price.
I have a question.
Yep.
Why don't we just put BP on the bid? Like, why aren't we just more transparent about what those prices that you're actually bidding?
That, when you start thinking like that, like, how come BP isn't displayed to me as a bidder until I get my invoice?
It is on, I think it is, though, on Golden and PWCC, like, as you're bidding it, and it says, like, in a less colored font, kind of like, oh, it's actually also this.
Yeah, it's like, it is. Like, it's less prominent, but, like, I get it is there. I know it is there at Golden. So, like, okay, so you have that question. Why is BP sort of, like, less prominently displayed? You have another question, which is, why did I ever have to place my bid prior to the deadline to get into extended anyway? Why did I ever have to do that? You start asking the question, why do these procedures exist the way that they are? I think the ultimate answer you have to come to is that somebody in a decision-making position believed that this was the way to maximize the price that the card's going to sell for. And I think it's no more complicated than that.
Well, it's kind of like when you go to a showroom floor and you see the price of a car or
right,
furniture, and then they're like, oh, but you have to add delivery fee and customizations and taxes now to this, so that price, that sticker price isn't actually the price. It's like, well, why don't you just tell me the motherfucking price? Like, why do you have to do this? Why can't everyone just be transparent?
Okay, fair enough. All right. Next question from Lights Camera Cards. I know the concept of card flipping has been around forever, but my God, the only hobby content I see now is trying to flip cards as fast as possible. Like, if you are holding a card, you're doing it wrong. How did this phenomenon happen, and how can this mindset be changed?
I mean, it's the TikTok world where people want like instant content, like buy card, sell card, profit. Here's a picture of me in my fancy new Corvette. Like, people just want that like super quick microwave, flow of things. Well, I want to buy a card raw. I want to send it to grading, get a PSA 10. I want to vault it, and then I want to sell it immediately through the auction, and then I want to get paid. Like, that's the flow that's been sort of like TikTokized, and I don't know.
That's good.
And
that's good. TikTok.
I think that's just like the content that gets created and shoved in our faces. I still don't think that's the majority. Like, I still believe in my heart that there's still the majority of people sort of like silently moving and like building collections on their own. Maybe I hope so.
Yeah. But it is tough if you're on YouTube or Instagram or something, and you're just like, yeah, let's hear about this great collector community that I keep hearing about. Let's find it. And instead, it's just like lots of video, like lots of like high viewed, high engagement videos from card shows. Of a guy buying a card for $500 at this table and selling it for $1,000 at the other one. I get where he's coming from on that.
Yeah. And then it's gonna eventually divulge into two people slapping each other and pretending to fight.
Yeah, that's where do we go from there?
That's the bottom. Is like, people are sending me that, and I'm like, what am I supposed to react to this? This has nothing to do with card. Am I supposed to say this is like a card related thing? We're not even talking about cards anymore. Like, at least this show, we're talking about sports and cards. Like, if we go past that, what are we doing? Let's Make a new show called Pop Culture or something. I don't know.
Exactly. It's tough. It's tough.
Says the guy who talks about pizza and Chipotle.
Right. Okay. All right. Grail Card Quest says, how do you stay focused on your true PC when there are? We always get these focus questions.
People just. Do we need to give a pep talk right now, Chris?
Dude, do we need to have a societal intervention? Is this a larger problem where people just are having a hard time focusing and just? All right. Anyway, let me go back to this.
You know what they need to hear? They need to hear Aaron Rodgers. RELAX.
I think he relaxed a little too hard. And,
He forgot to play football this year.
don't relax that hard. Don't do all those drugs either. All right. Grail Card Quest says, how do you stay focused on your true PC when there are so many different fun products and players out there? I seem to get 2 or 3 cards deep into a new PC or a new insert set, and then I just get distracted by something else.
Yeah. You just gotta draw the line somewhere, right? You can do the box opening. I think that's part of the fun is having these side things where you're opening wax and buying new product and staying engaged with new stuff. You just gotta draw the line at making 10 new PCs, right? Or trying to get every insert set. You have to at that point stop yourself.
Yeah, and that's a great point, and it made me think about give yourself all the leeway in the world to.
Adderall.
We're not advocating for drug bait. This show's all about dopamine and Adderall.
Aaron Rodgers. What's that one that Aaron Rodgers does?
Don't take it.
What's that, John?
What's the one that Aaron Rodgers does? I want to ask her. What is it called?
I don't know how to pronounce it, but yeah, I know what you're saying. Yeah. With spiritual leaders and stuff surrounding it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So
Go ahead.
Here's the thing. As collectors and in every aspect of your life where you're doing something creative, you're going to fail 9 times out of 10. 9 times out of 10, you're going to make garbage. And 1 time out of 10, you're going to get it right. So, if you're having a hard time staying focused because, you keep getting distracted off of, different cards or, you're I actually really don't like this player or I don't really like this product or this insert set, maybe that's just because that's not the right one for you and you didn't pick a good one. And so sell it and try again. Sell it and try again. And you're not going to land. Maybe that's part of the problem is we just have this expectation that we're going to pick the perfect cards and the perfect players and it's just going to work out perfectly. And no expressive or creative act works that way. If you're writing music or you're writing marketing copy or you're trying to make content, it's going to suck 9 times out of 10. It's going to not be good. But 1 time out of 10, you're going to get it right. So maybe that's it. Maybe this isn't a focus issue at all. Maybe this is more of an issue of give yourself permission to be wrong and to pick the wrong stuff because you got to keep going and eventually you're going to land on the right stuff.
I like that you said, don't feel bad about selling off cards if you made the wrong choice. Because there's this level of people are getting shamed into not flipping something immediately, and then collectors are getting shamed into giving up on a PC guy and dumping him. At some point, like you said, you gotta just sell it and move and take that money and do something else that makes you happier. And if you're putting it back into the hobby, who really cares?
Totally.
It's ayahuasca says the chat.
Yeah. I'm a little concerned that the chat is experts on this.
They were immediately hitting that. They were ready for that one.
Actually, this is how it's pronounced, Josh.
Yeah, they're doing the enunciation of it.
All right. Okay. All right. Damn. You need to let these baseball collectors have their shine, man. Stiff Arm Wax says that's number 1. You got to ignore what other people think. Yeah, there's something to that too. All right, we've got another question about focus. All right.
Oh, from Adderall.
from
Well,
AP.
this is why doctors prescribe drugs so quickly, because they're just sick of the same questions. Yes, I know you have pain. Here's a drug.
All right. AP Cards 23 says, I'm trying to do less random buying, but I'm finding it hard to go without instant gratification. I've picked out a lower priced 30-card basketball set from the 2000s. Every card is numbered to 50, but the main players in the set just don't seem to show up. So do you have any advice for a newbie who's just starting to move beyond the super liquid cards? Do I just wait and wait and wait for the right cards to pop up? Or is there some way that I can go on the attack? And parentheses, this is made harder because I live in Australia.
Why don't you talk about the luck of the lottery set? Because that one's not something you can just like finish. You know, like it kind of seems like this person is hoping to start and finish something quick. But if you have a set like that where they're all rare, you kind of have to just put that on the side at all times and keep that like a side project, because you're never going to be able to just hammer them out.
Yeah, that one is perfect because like I'm not super like thirsty to finish that set. I'm not over, like it's not like gnawing at me where I'm losing sleep like, oh, I have to find these last few cards. But I do like it, and I have like 11 of the cards.
Oh, you do?
Of like the 15.
You do?
Yeah, I did.
Yeah.
What did you buy for that set?
I bought the Luca.
No, you didn't.
Yes, I did.
I did.
No, you didn't.
All right. All right. This is a different therapy session. All right. But anyway, but I'm not like panicked over finishing that set. So that's on that. Like it worked out perfectly, Josh, because like I just wait for the stuff to come up. It takes time to come up. I get it. It's great. But I'm not so obsessed with completing that set that like, you know, I'm putting out stupid bounties and going crazy, right? That's a good place to be for a set.
Yeah. I also like to go back to thinking about how, again, we're like year 7 of 50 into this journey. So like, gotta just kind of treat it like a marathon. You're not gonna just like get every card that's a grail. And you're gonna go to this next question next because I'm gonna make you, but like, there's always someone, you know, above you in the collecting world. So like, no matter what else you see other people doing, you gotta always kind of remember that you're gonna have to scale it to like your own level and you know where you are in the hobby, because you're never gonna be able to. You'll always have someone that you can like outpace because you've been in it longer. If you've been in it longer than 5 seconds, then you'll always have someone that's above you.
Totally. Yeah, that's that's great. So I know what question you're talking about. So Iowa Dave says, the last couple weeks I've heard a guest say that they collect Michael Jordan, followed by, I mean, not like Hoj, but I collect. How do you feel when someone tells you that they collect Michael Jordan or LeBron, and then they get self-deprecating about their collection because they feel like it just doesn't compare to yours?
I liked your answer. That was mine as well. It just means like you're just a collector. Like that's kind of humility is part of being a collector. And I was like, Chris is definitely going to point out the fact that there's like Stephen Go and Nat. Like there's people that have a lot more Jordan cards than you do. There's people like Bob Amtrak. Dude, he's got like all the cards that I have, all those golds. He has the like one of ones of all those. I look like a freaking dingus.
Exactly right.
Mine are out of 50. His are out of 1. It's like his are 50 times harder to find than mine.
Yeah, and it's important that we have those people too. Like, it's important that we have Stephen Go and we have Nat and Bob M-Track, and like, it's just important that we have those guys because those guys show what's possible if you stay committed to your collection and you know you're in this hobby for the long haul and you know focus on the best stuff you can get. Like having those guys around is great. And also like the other half of it is just like as a collector, knowing that there's always somebody who's doing way better than you is very comforting to me. I think I love that thought. I don't want to be the most invested collector in the hobby. I don't want to be that. I'm really happy just being right somewhere in mediocrity. I'm really happy to be there. And like leaning into humility, leaning into just kind of accepting that like, yeah, like I like my collection's got some great stuff, but like there are real goats of collecting who've been doing it for multiples as long as I have, and they set the gold standard. I just find a comfort in that. And I think there's a lot of collectors who feel that way too. Even if they wouldn't articulate it quite that way, I think they feel that way too.
Yeah. We'll just stick to our PSA 5s.
Exactly. Right. Exactly. Okay. Next question. From Drake's PC. Drake was definitely MVP. Drake was the Patrick Mahomes of questions this week.
Oh, I think you're going to say that Peyton Manning. Peyton Manning has more MVPs than Patrick Mahomes.
He does have a few more, but Drake's the new kid on the block. Like Cards and Candy 911 is like Peyton Manning, but like Drake is going to the Super Bowl this year on Card Ladder question and answer segment. So Drake says this. It's he says, it's no secret I'm a Peyton Manning super collector. You're right about that, Drake. However, there are certain key Peyton cards that I want for my collection that people who aren't necessarily Peyton super collectors have in there.
Dude, this is therapy week. It's totally therapy week.
Yeah, it is. This is definitely therapy week.
That's got to be the title.
Or like, well, I wrote down like you said. This is why doctors prescribe drugs. I mean, that's kind of a way of saying therapy as well. But okay.
Write down.
All right.
Therapy is in session.
Okay. All right. I got therapy week, therapy session.
No, therapy is in session. Like because the show is like describing what we were doing.
Therapy is in session. Got it. All right. He says. So, what advice would you give to those people who are simply holding cards of players that they don't necessarily super collect for value reasons versus allowing them to end up in the collections that they truly belong in?
You want me to go first?
Yeah, go for it.
I've only got like 2 strong takes on this. Only 2. I don't really have a problem with people holding a card, even though it may like who are we to say like one person deserves a card more than the other? I think that's a bit of a gray area, a bit of a slippery slope. But I draw the line at duplicates. I'm not a big fan of duplicates. You can have duplicates, but if it gets to a point where it's like someone is like, hey, I really want one of those, you've got 2, this should be pretty easy, and it turns into a battle, that's where I'm like, maybe just sell one, not have the dupes. Like if someone came to you and was like, I need a Jokic Optic Gold so bad, like it's going to finish my set, would you really prevent them from doing that?
No, definitely not. That makes complete sense. Yeah, that makes complete sense. But like there needs to be the level of trust though, to whereas it's like if I sell you this Jokic Gold, if I sell you my 6th Jokic Gold from that year,
Dream
card. I don't want to fucking see it show up in a PSA 10 slab on Golden's weekly auction a month from now. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
There needs to be a level of trust, like it's actually going to a collection.
What if they're not willing to pay for it?
Ooh.
Like, say, like, expect a deal because they collect them. Or it's like,
yeah, that's a good point.
Why?
That's a great point.
Yeah.
It's like you got to have it's like I made the assumption that you're going to pay the market value and you're not going to sell it. Then I'll sell you my dupe.
Right. The Rosenfeld collection says, I have a sick LT that I probably don't deserve.
Have you had good experiences with this where like someone's got a Christian McCaffrey or a Jokic or something and they sort of like stopped you before you started begging them and like, hey, I know this would be better in your PC, let's figure this out, come up with a fair price. Like, have you had good experiences with that?
I have, and I've had not so good with both those players. But I think one of the factors influencing it, making it pretty smooth for those players, is that like those players are B tier in the hobby, not A tier. So like I wouldn't expect it to go this smoothly with Michael Jordan cards, But with those guys, yeah. But like, in fact, there was 2 collectors who I've known for like half a decade who just so happened to have 2 of the McCaffrey Prism Blacks, non-rookies. And like when they found out that I was super collecting McCaffrey, basically, they were just like, "Hey, I'll literally sell these to you for the price that you paid for them, or for the price that I paid for them. Like, I just want to move it on to you." And that was like, graciousness above and beyond what's required of a seller. So have had great experiences like that. But, I also have had experiences where it's like I've made offers over market for like some Jokic cards this year, and the collector, and they were 1-of-1s, and the collector just like, nah, like I want these, and what can you do about that? There's nothing you can do about that. You have to respect it, or you just keep coming back with dumber and dumber offers.
He seems like he's like a pretty hardcore collector, so you can't get too mad about it.
Can't even get mad about it at all.
Yeah.
Can't get even a little bit mad about it.
If it's something that you see on eBay and just rotting, it's a little more frustrating.
Bingo. Yes, this guy wasn't even making the stuff available. It's like me invading.
You're on his doorstep now.
Yeah, exactly. I'm selling encyclopedias. Let me in. All right.
Or knives. The best one is the knives. Remember that?
Yeah.
That might be an awesome title.
I'm selling encyclopedias. Let me in.
Did anyone in the chat sell knives? Let me know.
What did you learn from that experience? All right. Did you ever sell knives?
No.
No.
I did sell energy, like, efficiency, like,
Ayahuasca?
So I would go to senior centers and, like, set up. And
You were preying on the elderly?
No, it was a free program. It was a free program in Connecticut. Like, the state paid for it. You just had to have them sign up. And, like, then you would go in and, like...
So you were collecting mailing lists to then sell?
No, we were collecting money from the state. We just needed people to sign up to get the money from the state.
Okay, all right.
Write down preying on the elderly. That was hilarious.
Okay.
It's like, oh, wow. She's like, no. It's okay. They were actually also deranged. Like, oh, no, wait, that's worse.
She's like, it's okay. The state of Connecticut made me do it.
They couldn't make decisions for themselves. It's okay. Oh, my God. Dude, I thought she was going to say she did, like, some MLM stuff. Like, I used to sell these, like, energy efficiency boosters in packet form.
For what?
MLM, like multi-level marketing.
Oh, I don't even know what that was. But yeah.
A lot of people did that, not even knowing that really what they were doing either.
It's not just
Yeah, because you'd be like,
Yeah, Ponzi scheme.
oh, no.
yeah, it's like where you'd have to, like, invite a bunch of people over to your house and, like, pitch them on, well, you have to, like, pitch them on, like, joining your team where, like, they'd be below. It ended up being, like, a pyramid scheme. You're listening to it, like, you're in the room, and it's, like, your friends, so you have to go, and you're like, what the fuck is this person talking to me about right now? Is this a pyramid scheme?
Yeah.
No.
Man, I had like a train of thought on this, but I lost it because that was too funny. Damn. All right.
Thank you, Jordan, for... We're over the age of consent.
Well, we officially teetered into, giggle mode. This is good.
Yeah, early, very early. I guess it is hour 2. Okay. All right. PLB card says, how do I focus more? No, I'm just kidding. PLB card says, does adding a note when sending PayPal friends and family, does that actually do anything? When you like fill in the note, description. He says, I always assumed that sellers would remind me to send with no note for some type of tax purposes. I've even had someone get annoyed at me for writing a note in my friends and family transaction.
Mm-hmm.
So does adding a note allow the government to tax PayPal friends and family transactions?
I want to put the note in so that I have it for my records when I go and do my taxes, you know?
Right.
Like, what did I pay $7,000 for on April 3rd? Why would I do this? What was this for? I have no idea who this person is. I'd love it if I had my little note that said, you know, what the card was. Do we have actually any proof that like the IRS is like looking through memo notes on PayPal?
Well, you know, I don't know about that, but like the other boogeyman you have to worry about is PayPal, because PayPal doesn't want you sending stuff friends and family because they don't get a percentage of it. So if PayPal has any reason to think that you're doing friends and family transactions to avoid fees that the seller would have to pay if it was a goods and services transaction, then PayPal is going to be on the lookout for that.
Yeah.
So PayPal doesn't want you to do it. And yeah, if you're doing it to avoid having to pay taxes, that's fucking tax evasion as well. Just putting it out there.
Totally. And yeah, why do we keep getting these topics where like someone's trying to gotcha us? They're trying to get us in trouble.
Trying to get us to be like, yeah, don't put the note in there.
I think this is the part where, Christina, I think this is the part where we send the macro and the macro says, make sure you get a tax professional accountant to help you out with your taxes each year at FedEx overnight.
Yeah.
Exactly.
We have another question.
Insurance.
Yeah, go to the insurance.
Oh my God, thank you. Okay, so like you would think if we're gonna complete the trifecta, we would have a question about insurance, and we did.
And we did.
Where is the insurance question?
You answer this one. You guys just went through it like a year ago.
We've had insurance with Collect Insure for 4 years at least.
Okay.
Probably more.
Okay, so here's a question: cards and cardio. What is the best advice for the hobby to insure or protect their collections in case of catastrophe or theft? And what do you use, if anything?
Yeah, Collect Insure is the one that I use as well. I liked it because it wasn't just for the obvious, like it gets stolen or, you know, a fire at your house. It was also for like shipping cards and for bringing your cards to shows, which is kind of nice.
Completely. Yeah, that's one of the cool features about collector's insurance is for the policies that like we have, which is like normal policies. If you're shipping a card out or you're having it shipped to you, normally the policies say as long as signature is required upon delivery, that shipment is insured. And if you're not insuring your shipments that way, it's like almost impossible to get those shipments insured. Like FedEx has a cap on how much they'll insure. FedEx.
Plus, like having to tell FedEx, hey, can you insure this package for $100,000? And they're like, what, sir? Can you say that number again, sir? Tell me again. What's in this box? And you're like, God damn it.
Yeah, and then like you just leave the package with them and you walk out of the store and you're like
watching them. Yeah, you're like watching them on your way out. Like, what's he doing with it?
Right. Exactly. That's So Collect Insure is, and if you want to get like the person that I worked with was named Doug Dutton. Doug Dutton. So
drop some names of other companies in the chat and we'll call them out.
Yeah, for sure.
And if you talk to Doug, make sure you reference Chris McGill.
He won't know who that is, so you can just not do that, actually. Last time I talked to Doug Dutton was 3 or 4 years ago.
That means nothing to me. Keep going.
So this is just free promo. All right. Okay, all right, here we go. AP Cards 23 says, I just can't focus my collection. Oh,
Jesus.
AP Cards 23.
I'm going to jump off your balcony.
Did you guys see the post about someone tracking down the exact spot where Brady announced his retirement? And they are now selling bottled sand from that spot. It might be fake. But if it's real, does it annoy or entertain you? For some reason, I love it. What a funny idea. They could create scarcity by urinating on the remaining unbottled sand left. Just an idea. Hashtag the hustle Israel.
I think we
I always
separate the bottles of sand and what
bottles.
he did to desecrate that beach after he bottled some sand.
How does Tom Brady get to a public beach like that and film something without people just like? Does he have security guards around him? How does that work?
It was probably like 4 a.m. Like, honestly, that guy like is so insane with his.
Hashtag
So,
grind. They're not paying. People aren't paying for these auctions, right? I mean, these like joke sales. These are jokes, right?
it was well, the highest priced one says Tom Brady retirement sand. You guys are all idiots. Then there's this auction, which is at $99,900 with what?
It's like the same photo.
This is what's great about eBay and what's terrible about eBay. And look, like the winning bidder has a feedback score of 1,210. This is what's great about eBay and what's absolutely terrible about eBay all in one is that you can sell anything you want. And that's like, and it's not, it's a wild, wild west. So it can be great to, spread your wings as a reseller or an entrepreneur or a dealer or just a collector trying to sell stuff that doesn't fit neatly into normal commerce categories. But on the other hand, you can have somebody post a bottle of sand from the unurinated ground
That you know of.
and get 124 bids up to $100,000, and we all know nobody's going to pay that. And so it just looks really stupid. But like, as you scroll down, there's more and more. There's like 150 of these listings. And then like you get like different ones like, okay, so this guy's got his little bottle of sand, $2,000 for his. And then you've got sand from Tom Brady's retirement tweet where it's $600 now. I mean, this guy graded his with HGA. He put his in a water bottle. Tom Brady retirement sand Surfside. Okay, but you keep going down, and now you've got 199. You've got some shoes. Keep going.
You didn't build your query very
Why are
much.
they
Going
all
down.
the same photo? Why is it always the same photo?
Look, Tom Brady's exact retirement spot, $99.98. Okay.
Only one
$99.98.
jar? God damn. Only one jar?
And it is always the same photo. You're so right about that. So, like, are a bunch of these scams?
Yes.
This is everything that the eBay experience is, for better or worse, is all bundled up in this little experience. Ryan Bitter says, what inning are we in on sand?
Do you follow Tyler Sports Guy?
Yeah, I do. Yeah.
He always posts the things where it's like, all right, guys, let's invest in ... checks notes sand ? I always laugh at those.
Jacob says, can it be photo matched to the beach? Good question. We
What is
need to get migrated.
What does ChatGPT say about this sand and its value?
ChatGPT only goes up to 2021. So ChatGPT is not going to have anything to say about this.
What do you mean?
ChatGPT only goes up to 2021. They don't have 2022 or 2023 results
Why?
because it helps them moderate the results better or something like that. They're very nervous about like giving a politically incorrect answer.
Really should be. They should be nervous about that.
I agree. All right. Lauren goes here, says Tom Brady sand and Splash Mountain water, parentheses, P possibly included. Busy week for the Florida resources. Yeah, those Florida resources are hard at work in the nation's dong, aka Florida. All right. Next.
Sand ladder.
Sand ladder. Nice. All right. CZ Cards says, I've been thinking about starting a Michael Jordan collection, but have no idea where to start.
Ugh.
Just start, man.
Pray for that person. Pray for that person.
You should start.
Yeah, we will, first of all, pray. Yeah. Ask others to pray for you. And then just start, just start. That's all I would say. It's just, you got to start somewhere, maybe like inserts, maybe like base cards, maybe like parallels. You just got to start. Just start accumulating a collection and know that you're not going to like every card that you pick up, and you'll figure out more stuff. And hopefully the stuff that you buy appreciates over time, and you can roll it into other bigger stuff. So, all right. MD Cup Guy 8 says, this is the NHL All-Star Game weekend. This weekend is the NHL All-Star Game. What is the best hockey card that any of you have ever owned, if you've even ever owned one? This is for you, Christina.
PSA 10 Ovechkin Young Guns.
Christina once owned a PSA 10 Ovechkin Young Guns, but after it quadrupled in value, I sold it.
Yep.
Flipper.
I remember, like,
Flippers.
We flipped.
I remember
We are a hockey card. We are ruining the hockey card market. And we made a YouTube video about it. We took it to a show. We turned one nickel into $8 million.
And you did a O-face.
I remember buying it from PWCC and coming to you after I bought it and being nervous to tell you because it was the second highest price ever paid for an Ovechkin PSA 10.
Yeah.
But I just was overcome with desire of buying this card.
You did. That was such a collector impulse buy.
Yeah.
Yep.
And then 7 months later, he flipped it.
And then Chris paid it for you.
I don't even consider it a flip. It was just like a...
It was Christina, this card is getting too hot for your hands. I'm going to sell it now.
Yeah, Christina, you can finance your entire Maxi Kleber PC.
And I did.
Let's sell this Young Guns PSA 10.
You guys need to document this whole thing, this whole story you just told, and how to profit in the year through sports cards.
Yeah.
I can teach you how to do it too.
Yeah. All right. Raw Card Collector says, on eBay, you see an auction price on a card just under comps with no bids. Do you, one, wait to the last second to throw your snipe on it? Or two, do you put a bid on the card so that the seller won't pull the auction, but knowing that if you put a bid, others might see that this item is desired, and then they start bidding, and it increases the price?
This is another giant pet peeve when people list cards like what they want to sell for is the starting bid. God, it's so annoying. I usually like to make those people suffer and not bid and let them relist it 5 times, and then eventually I'll bid when it's half market price.
Yeah, I know what you mean. Those are the most annoying auctions. So, I don't know, man. Pick your poison. That's like a coin flip to the, you just gotta you're taking a risk either way.
Is it
all right?
Is it a grail? If it's a grail, bid early.
Yeah. Yep. Okay, 3Co LA says, are you guys thinking about starting any new side PCs?
What was that you said about my LeBron stuff? Let it breathe for a little bit, let it chill.
Yep.
Are we not starting enough PCs already?
Yeah, I know. I just the commenters are just trolling us. They're just.
We've only started 2 PCs in the last year. Pathetic.
Yeah, they're just trying to see if they can bait us into starting more and more side PCs. This question probably comes from maybe a Michael Jordan or a LeBron collector, just trying to push us into new PCs.
Tie up our money elsewhere.
Yeah, we're not falling for it. 3Co.
That's why I like to drop these big LeBrons every once in a while. Just remind the people sitting at home. Some of the chat says I should start a side Kobe PC. Speaking of trolling.
All right. like when the meme posts that Trump meme when he goes like, just gonna do a little trolling. You call it trolling. All right. Cardboard Insights. Oh man, this is a big question. God, these eBay questions get so freaking intricate.
Yeah, they do. That's why I said the question askers this week are A+.
Yeah, all right, A+, we're gonna power through this one. Cardboard Insight says, a Grail card of yours pops up on eBay, parentheses, not a one of one. You have a number in mind of what you want to just tell us the fucking card, man. All right. You have a number in mind of what you want
Just
to
you put the link in the question. That's what Chris would do. Fucking video himself showing everybody.
All right. The buy it now price is about 25 to 35% higher than the number you have in mind for what you want to spend.
Smash the bin.
Okay, that's where we're going with this. So, however, there's also the option to make an offer. So to me, this is what I call the threshold of auction paralysis. A third of the time I smash bin, buy it now. A third of the time I send an offer and wait. And the other third of the time I send an offer, I wait 20 minutes, and I hit bin anyway. So have you dealt with this scenario? It seems more obvious to buy it now, hit bin in this scenario if the card is in the top 1 to 2 grails for a player. But what if this is number 3 through 10 of that player's grails?
All right, I'm going to make this real simple.
Right.
If it's Todd Gurley, I send the offer and I wait days. Doesn't matter. If it's LeBron, I smash the bin. If it's Penny Hardaway, I send the offer and I wait like 20 minutes and I smash the bin. It's like the popularity of the player, right?
That's perfect. Yeah. Yep. That's exactly right.
You just smash the bin on every scenario.
Yeah. This question was not meant for me from the start. As soon as he put in parentheses, not a one of one, I think he was just like, Chris, don't answer this, please.
Well, he's probably like, you guys have answered this. Chris has given his answer. Let's get him out of here.
Yeah, exactly. All right. Chris, just do a dramatic rating of my question and then shut the fuck up.
Yeah. Hey, if that's the worst or the best thing you do, the worst thing, then people would be proud either way.
Exactly. All right. Timmy D21PC wants to know, what's your favorite year for the Skybox Rubies design? And by the way, he didn't say Star Rubies. He said Rubies. So that includes 96.
What was the poll result?
The poll result, when I looked at it the first time, was 50% voted for 97-98, which is the first year, and 50% voted for 98-99. And then no other, obviously, there was no other percentage. Because the other options I gave was you could put 96 or you could just say other, because like there are other years of Rubies, but it was evenly split among 97, 98, and 98, 99.
I'd probably go 97, 98 base set.
Which
you've
owned one of those before. You've owned the Jordan before.
Yeah.
You had it in hand. I've never seen the Jordan in hand, so it's hard to comment on it.
It's got the amoeba effect.
Right. I love those late 90s parallels that just like have this postmodern art template to them. I just like,
yep.
Like postmodern art is kind of like obnoxious. It's just a bunch of dots and squares, but like it works on cards for some reason. It just works when it's not the focus, but it's like it's a time capsule of what avant-garde art was like in that era. I really like it.
It's the contrast to the player. You like 98, 99 better?
I can't render an opinion because I've literally, and I'm embarrassed to say, I've never seen the 97, 98 in person. I never have. So it's tough. It's a tough call. But like, if it's a tie,
have you seen the Team Skybox?
I've never seen that one in person either. But here's the thing: if it's a tie, the tie goes to 97, 98 because it's the first year
of the Star Rubies.
Of Star Rubies, yeah. That's the first year of Star Rubies, numbered to 50. It's not the first year of Rubies.
I like, hey, I do that too.
Yep.
That's like the universal symbol for it's numbered.
Exactly. All right. Love it when the tech shows up.
Go to the sticker frozen pizza one.
All right. That's the question of the day.
I don't know about that.
Okay, 740 Smith cards. What the fuck is this? 740 stiff, moderate.
Stiff.
740 Smith card says, "Is frozen pizza the sticker autograph of the pizza world?"
I gave you my answer in the DM, right?
You did.
Sticker auto, or sorry, the player worn is the frozen pizza of the pizza world because I still enjoy it greatly, but I know it's not the real deal.
Yeah. Look, okay, that's great. A great metaphor.
But
but let me ask you this: where do you actually, if pizza fresh from the oven at the local home,
Domino's.
If that's a 10,
Yeah.
right?
What's the grade?
Where is frozen pizza? For you, is frozen pizza like a 7 out of 10?
Is it like I get to pick the frozen pizza? It's like my favorite or something?
I don't see why not.
Okay. It's like an 8 for me, dude. It's an 8, dog. That's an 8 for me, dog.
Okay. So you're saying it's close. You're saying the gap between frozen pizza and real pizza or whatever is not that big.
Is that just like total blasphemy?
I don't know.
No.
I'm the least discriminating eater you'll ever meet.
Yes, seriously.
Yeah, like Chris is like, it's also a 10.
You could put DiGiorno in a box and have it delivered to me, and I'd be like, impressed.
That's their slogan.
Look, if you're eating good pizza on a regular basis, like pizza from my hometown of New Haven, Connecticut, then frozen pizza does not compare at all. But if you're in a city that doesn't know pizza like any other city in the world, then the difference between frozen pizza and Cutie Pies or Elliott's is a lot closer than anything you get at a
Why'd you have to
store.
throw Elliott's in there? You know Elliott's.
Did you guys have that the other night?
I did have that the other night. I couldn't do it, but it was worrisome because I couldn't remember what it was called, and I knew I could just ask you if I really needed to, but it took a minute. But we remembered it was called Elliott's. We ordered it. It was great.
Remember, we had to look it up on Uber.
It was great though.
Someone in the chat said they had Frank Pepe's tonight. Is that yours, Christina?
Oh
That
shit!
That is Matty Ice.
Yo, Maddie, I casually dropping the Frank Pepe's. I mean,
Why didn't he go to Modern?
that. Wow.
All right, everyone in the chat, drop your favorite frozen pizza brand.
I hope you had a slice for me.
Drop your favorite frozen pizza brand.
So he's just being a masshole.
It's one of the knockoff, like one of the franchise shops. It's not. It's not the 100-plus-year-old brick oven that they're baking the pizza in. Yeah. Mm-hmm. But it's still probably a fuck ton better than Elliott's. So I'll give him that.
No. Did you? I'm just not even gonna acknowledge that. Did you say what your favorite frozen pizza was, Josh?
Tombstone.
Yep.
Dude, people are dropping ones I've never even heard of. There's so many awesome frozen pizza brands. Shout out to all the frozen pizza companies out there making a living, keeping us happy from our comfort of our homes.
Should we be angling for a frozen pizza sponsorship? Have we been missing out?
Well, you noticed that, I don't know if you did notice, but Truly's been, I've been cheating on them because these fuckers haven't given me any love. So you know what? I gotta try some vodka seltzers now.
What?
Suck it.
Look. What if we've misread this whole Truly situation? What if they got Christina's messages and they see everybody who tags them, but then they watched our show and they're like, "This is trash."
Hey, At least tell me that. I can take that.
I know, but maybe they're just being nice and being diplomatic.
No, they're a Massachusetts company. They're not nice or diplomatic.
And we think they're big timing us, but really they're just like, we've watched 10 minutes of your show, and that was funny.
Do you know how much self joy and happiness I would have in my life if Red Baron sponsored this show?
Let's go. That's what I'm saying. We should be aiming higher than Truly. We should be aiming much higher than low tier.
Red Baron Frozen Pizza. This crossover sponsored by Red Baron Frozen Pizza. What a fucking amazing accomplishment. That's like the peak of my life.
Does it have to be Red Baron?
No, I'm just like something really dorky, like, Red Baron or like some weird frozen pizza brand. It just speaks to this show. Yes.
What about
the fucking $1 pizza that I used to stay nourished on when I lived in
Those are so bad, dude. Come on.
Oh man, those are awful.
Those are bad.
Basically, it's basically a sports card with like ketchup on it.
Yeah, there's a cardboard flavor to it.
Sniff, is that a real tag? Red Baron Pizza? Tony's is good too.
The Red Baron marketing guy is like up late. He's like, what am I being tagged in here?
Yeah, what the fuck? We have 400 followers.
But isn't marketing just being replaced by Chat GPT? So we should go on Chat GPT and just go on with like.
Ask Chat GPT what message should we send Red Barons to ensure our sponsorship?
That's a good one.
I didn't sign up for that because they asked too many personal questions. Like I was like, I'm not trying to get into the fucking matrix.
What do they ask? They ask like your name and your email address.
I know that she said that. It's like, what's your name?
You have to like link it to a phone.
Keep me off of that list.
Well,
yeah, it's like, what's your name? She's like, I'm out. Fuck these guys. They don't need to know my name.
Like,
my name is Fuck You.
Fuck you.
Yeah, my name is Fuck You.
No.
Also, she doesn't realize you can just lie.
Are you kidding? That never crossed her mind.
I actually did it.
You just make up a name.
She's like, my name is Valerie. Oh god, I can't do this. My mom told me I can't lie.
There's a lot of accounts out there that think I was born on January 1st, 1969.
Gotcha.
Just saying. All right.
On Facebook, you know how people always like say happy birthday on Facebook, and that's like how you find out your friends' birthdays?
Yeah.
Well,
yep.
Justin 610 Sports Cards did the same thing as you. He put the birthday as January 1st, so every January 1st, if I remember, I'll message him, happy birthday! Like, it's not my birthday, jackass.
Oh, that's good. All right. All right, Grip and Rip Cards. What a fucking name, huh? Says, why are downtowns better than kabooms?
Because they weren't pumped to the moon by...
Dude, I'm like the only dummy who still owns a kaboom. Like, the kaboom pumpers like came, pumped it to the moon, sold their shit, left. And I still
and then you come in with a McCaffrey like a year and a half later.
Yeah. That I've had that I like bought at the peak. Yeah. Yep. That's right. That's right. So what do you say? Which one do you like better? Because like I did a poll and downtown slightly won over kabooms.
Really?
Yep.
I don't know. I know where Christina stands on this. She loves Kaboom.
Go ahead, Christina. Where do you stand on this?
I'm pro downtown. If those are my only two options.
Okay. Well, you know what's cool about both? Both of them, at least recently,
Nothing.
like downtown has a gold vinyl 1 of 1, which is sick, and Kaboom has a green 1 of 1, which is pretty sick too. So like, hard to go wrong.
I'd rather go with the gold vinyl than.
I agree. Gold vinyl, like, such a great parallel. But what I like about Kaboom is that it's just a little simpler, and like with downtown, like sometimes that the art it just starts to get a little fucking much, you know.
Well, sometimes you have to like decipher it.
Yeah.
Like, you're like, what the fuck? Why is there like an alligator on a fucking
Right.
like San Francisco, like.
But it's cool. It's conceptual.
That, like, he went to Florida, and like it's an homage to Florida State Gators or something like that.
Yeah.
So there's like little like.
It's cool though because it's conceptual. Like there's thought put into it.
Yeah.
It relates to a city.
Doesn't downtown also have like more parallels now, other than the vinyl? Don't they have like a gold and stuff like that too, like everything else?
They might. I don't know. Fat Snacks probably knows. Always love when he.
Downtowns are cool. I'm with you though, Chris. I think sometimes like they cross the line in terms of like too much over design on some of those.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, and then like the problem that both of those insert sets have is that like every year they look pretty much the same.
Yeah.
So,
Kaboom is like the same every year, right?
yeah, very similar. I mean, obviously it's a different picture, but like it's the total opposite of the 90s where like they wouldn't dare repeat a single design element from one year to the next.
Right.
All right. Okay. Venezuelan League Stickers says, please talk about the Patrick Beverley. Check out this 4K replay camera technical. I don't watch basketball, but that was such a funny moment. Pat Bev is a king for that.
I will never forgive Pat Bev for shoving Chris Paul in the back, so let's just get that out of the way. I don't care what he does. I don't care if he helps LeBron win a championship. That dude sucks.
Fair. All right, we got that out of the way. Pat Bev, the opposite of goated.
It was funny, though.
Yeah. And it got a fucking technical. It started off the overtime with the free throw.
It was pretty funny.
Yeah, it was good. It was funny.
I love all the hilarious memes that I still get to this day of like over celebrating something, and then they use Pat Bev and the Timberwolves up on the play-in game. Remember that?
Yeah, the Timberwolves.
Crying. Like they won like the fucking play-in.
Yeah. I get ones about like it's like Instagram reels. Like when I'm scrolling through those, it's like dads celebrating and they got their kids to bed on time or something, and it's like Pat Bev climbing up.
What's the longest you've ever got sucked into like an Instagram reel scroll?
Oh my god, it's bad. Probably like an hour, man. It's bad.
Oh yeah, an hour. That's it. Christina, what's your longest Instagram? She probably scrolled for 2 hours today.
I think I did scroll for 2 hours today.
That's how she wakes up.
Listen, I know it's like
I get distracted. Like okay, so it's like really bad. Like when you have when you actually have ADHD, like it's really bad because the swipe up gives you dopamine hits.
Dopamine fucking
So you swipe up and then like if you're bored with it, you could just swipe up quicker. And it's like a constant like dopamine like surge. And then like when you have ADHD, like you forget the other things that you have to do until an outside force is like, what are you doing? So like Chris is that outside force who was like, why are you sitting here? Like, what are you doing?
Hey, you guys want to know a little secret? If you ever see Christina's story posts on Instagram starting to just have random reels and she's like commenting on them, she is in the middle of an Instagram reel session. And just DM her and be like, stop looking at the reels.
Please. If you see me just start posting reels on my stories, please DM me and be like, get back to work. Yep. Like, keep me on task, guys, please.
They are so addicting. What's yours?
I don't have like super long sessions, but I could have it happen to me 5 or 6 times in one day, where I'm chilling. I'm on Facebook because Facebook has them too,
Oh yeah.
Like all of a sudden, I get sucked into a Facebook reel.
You don't have TikTok though, right?
I do not have TikTok.
Yeah, delete TikTok. Well, it's like when I deleted TikTok, I did that thing where you you do the thing with you're like, that's the end of that. I don't have to worry about that. And then you're like, oh fuck, Instagram has these. Oh fuck,
yep.
I'm stuck now. I have to watch these goddamn things. They're so good. They're so smart.
I'm kind of elitist with my reels as well because if I'm swiping through reels and I see one has 50 likes and 2 comments, I'm just like, fuck this reel. Like, give me the reels that have, 50,000 likes and 300 comments. Because I'm just like, I know what you guys are trying to do. You're trying to use me to boost up this other reel into the algorithm, and I ain't falling for it. So I just.
I don't know how many reels someone can watch straight of just people cutting pizza, but I'm trying to prove that person wrong. It's just like the pizza flopping on the table and then someone cutting it with a pizza cutter, and that's the whole reel.
Oh, I don't even get this. I don't even get good reels like that. My reels are like.
Get good reels like that's horrible.
My reels are like some stupid guy like on a beach somewhere. Like, what size do you think I am? And like, then the girl's like, "Oh, do you really want me to answer that?" And he's like, "What do you mean? I was talking about my shoes." I've seen that same reel like 800 fucking times in different mediums. That's the dumb shit that I get.
I figured out though the negative of reels, and it's that you can't talk to any of your friends about it because you're like, remember that reel that, and you're like, no, dude, I get completely different ones than you. I have no idea what you're talking about. We never see the same ones.
Dude, my Facebook algorithm is so fucked for my reels. I get on Instagram, I get a lot of boxing reels. Like, I don't know why, but just like Instagram, all my reels are like these knockout punches, and I will get sucked into those. I'll just I'm like, damn, I want to see more of this fight, and they only give me 5 seconds.
You're just like, like,
I just get so enthralled by it,
It's just all about like how long you stay on them. So it's like, it's pretty good about capturing what you're actually watching.
Exactly. Yeah, but you got to be careful. If you go down the wrong reel hole, you can screw up your whole algorithm for months.
Yeah, I'm doing that now.
Yeah. And then Christina sends me reels, and then I get like Hallmark reels.
Yeah, I'm definitely in the camp of like, I know you guys want me to get locked into this algorithm. Fuck you, swipe up. I ain't watching this shit. Or I'm getting really good at knowing when it's an ad. Like, oh, hey, an ad. I'm not stupid. Fuck off.
Right. Dude, those fucking ads. No, I hate that.
All right.
I can't deal with that.
We need to like build a support group to try to reduce our time on these things.
This whole episode is just, our whole community is just a support group for mental neurotics like ourselves.
Episode has to be something about therapy.
Yes, it does. All right, I've got a lot of potential titles.
You don't even do them on the lines. You just like write them all over the place.
Yeah. I have a hard time following basic instructions like writing on the line. So, all right. How do I go to another question after this?
You just pick it and you read it out loud.
Here we go. All right, 90s b-ball cards. Shout out Jake. He says, do you agree that the best way to evaluate the quality of a pizza place is by sampling a slice of cheese? No. Here's what you do. You get your favorite pizza because you're going to get your favorite pizza everywhere you go. Right. Your favorite like topping combo, whatever. Yeah, but I bet Jake would come back with something like, yeah, but when you make a cheese piece, like you're working with the same basic ingredients, like it's more of a level playing field. Right. Where you can't like use pepperonis to compare. You don't want to give undue credence to the pepperoni quality. I feel like pepperoni is like pretty basic too. I feel like you could use that. Yeah. Christina, they're coming at you in the chat for false flagging on your pizza.
Oh my god, okay.
All right. No, you deal with them in the chat. All right. Next up, Tiger Jordan 311. Do players who are traded at the deadline tend to have short-term increases in their card value? Sure, like very, 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 very short. Dude, Rui Hachimura had one of the funniest blips where like for a day and a half, you know, his base prism and stuff like went up 3 or 4x, but it like within like 48 hours, it was right back to where it was.
Yeah, here's like really good advice on this, I think. It's not enough time for you to be able to buy something and then sell it for more. Like, it'll only work if you already have that player's cards.
Right. Nice. All right.
Let's talk about the Kyrie Irving thing.
Okay. All right. Well, you tell me, do you want a Chipotle question or do you want to do Kyrie?
I want both.
All right. Let's
together.
You can only do one at a time. Let's do Chipotle. We'll do Chipotle first, all right? And then we'll go to Kyrie because there's like multiple Kyrie questions. Mostly 90s basketball cards says the Chipotle question of the week. Some people love it, some people don't understand it, but everyone has an opinion on it. Which card in your collection reminds you most of Chipotle's Queso Blanco?
Ugh. I was thinking about this all night. This one question.
I bet you were.
So the Queso Blanco is like, I don't need it, but I'm going to get it every time if I can with some chips. So I don't need it. It's not essential to my PC, but I really, really want it.
Okay.
So I'll go with like a nice LeBron Exquisite. I don't need it. I've got the golds. I got this other stuff. I'll go with a nice LeBron Exquisite.
Now, what is that's a nice breakdown. Now, what does queso blanco mean? That means white cheese.
Jesus Christ!
You took Spanish in undergrad. Like you got A's in your class.
And I took it in high school too. Is that what it means?
Yes.
All right. Well, my collection's full.
I didn't even take Spanish.
My collection's got way too much white cheese as it is.
Have you not had the Queso Blanco from Chipotle before?
What's that?
Have you not had this at the restaurant?
I've never had it before.
Yeah,
No.
I've never had it either.
Oh.
Josh cannot.
Been a good show.
Josh cannot relate to fucking our Chipotle ignorance.
You guys are like, oh, that's all right. No, it's fine. It's good. Next time we hang out, we got something to work on. This is good.
All right. Sounds good.
There's a Chipotle right near our house, so Josh, when you come over next, we can get.
Yeah, I'm gonna dip the chip in the queso, and then I'm gonna do the thing where you're like, here, Chris, I'll hold it under, and I'll give it to you.
Thank you for the demonstration as well.
But you know how you hold your hand under it so the cheese drips, you catch it in your hand, you know what I mean? It's very specific.
All right.
You have to do it that way.
This dude's like, you cannot fucking waste a drop of that queso blanco.
Yeah, yeah.
All right,
Yeah.
let's go.
Stiff says, introduce me to Chipotle and that queso's crack. Thank you.
All right, Stiff. Dial it down a notch there, Stiff. Let's go. Kyrie, on to Kyrie. Frozen Infernal Collectibles says, what are your thoughts on Kyrie throwing a grenade into the Nets organization? Tiger Jordan 311 says, what team will make the mistake of trading for Kyrie? And Splendid Sports says, what are your thoughts on George Karl tweeting that Kyrie could put the Nuggets over the top? In other words, he wants to add the worst teammate in the NBA to play with the best teammate in the NBA. Parentheses, Joker. So, what do you say, Josh, about Kyrie?
Oh, I always think of that. I sent you this GIF, but it's like, days since last accident. Kyrie erasing the 2 months or whatever that he's been a good boy, and it's like, well, back to zero. You fucking psycho. He can't go a month without just doing something crazy.
Right. So my understanding is, based on reporting that like Tim McMahon and others have done, is that Kyrie was very offended when the Nets organization offered him a contract extension that was tied to, in some way, was tied to championships. So it was like there must have been some escalator in the contract that would increase his pay if a championship was won, which would mean that he wasn't being offered a max without conditions, which means, he was offended by that. And this was like a pretty harsh response, or a sharp response, to being offended by the offer, because God forbid, God forbid he not get $200 million over the next 4 years. But I get it though. He knows his market value, so like that makes sense. It's $37 million a year only. How could that not? Who could live on that? Okay, so but if I get it though, guys want to get their market value. He feels like his market value is a max contract. Okay, but here's the thing though. So if he's gonna tell the Nets, hey, I need to be traded if you're not gonna give me a 4-year extension for $198 million, then whoever trades for Kyrie, you better be also agreeing to offer this dude 4 years, $198 million, or else he's just gonna demand a trade and sit out on your team.
Dude's a nut job, but god damn it, I hope he ends up on the Lakers, and let's ride.
Let's ride. You take him.
No, I mean, I would probably take him on the Lakers. They're already the 10th seed or whatever. Like, it can't be any worse. You might as well fucking go for it now. What else you got to lose? The guy's a nut job. I saw a tweet or post or whatever that was like, Harden, Durant, and Kyrie on the same team. All three have now demanded a trade from that team. What in the hell?
That's tough. That's tough times for a Nets fan.
Can I just address this question from Splendid?
Sure.
What does he mean? So George Karl said that it would put the Nuggets over the top. Over the top of what? They're first in the West.
Let him know.
Let
them know.
What else do they have to do to be quote, over the top?
It's a huge risk for very marginal improvement possibility.
And you're gonna have to move pieces to get him.
Right.
So you're risking the camaraderie on the team, to move people.
Right.
I don't know. It just seems really stupid for the first team in the West to do something like this.
Let me assure you, the Nuggets are not doing that trade.
I think he only makes sense in the Lakers.
Well, there's 3 teams that are tied. Like the Shams tweeted 3 teams have inquired about Kyrie.
I saw
Lakers, the Suns, and the Mavericks.
I saw the Heat. I saw the Heat and another one, the Heat.
Okay.
The Suns?
I don't know about that one.
Where does he go with the Suns?
You know who probably they would ship out for him?
I don't know. I'd rather have CP3 than Kyrie Irving.
Mm-hmm.
But the Lakers makes the most sense to me because it's the only place he's ever won is with LeBron.
Yep.
They need an upgrade over Pat Bev and Russell Westbrook in the worst kind of way. Yeah. And they have nothing else to lose. They're already the 10 seed. Like, they have nothing to screw up. They're already screwed up.
Exactly. And I got to give a shout out to my guy Kev of the Monthly Card Show. Give them a follow. And Kev makes a passionate case for the Toronto Raptors patching up Fred VanVleet, maybe a few picks, bringing Kyrie to Toronto. So
I would bet that he doesn't go anywhere.
That's my guess as well. The Nets have already called these guys bluffs multiple times.
That's always our guess, and we're always right. With the Kevin Durant, we're like, he's not going anywhere.
Yep.
This might be a negotiation tactic where he's like, oh.
Might? 100% it is.
Like, he doesn't actually want to go anywhere either, is what I'm trying to say.
Yeah. Well, I think he got offended when they didn't offer him a max deal, considering how well he played.
The guy fucking sat out a year, and then the year before that, it was hurt the whole playoffs. He's offended. Get your fucking ass out there and play some basketball.
I mean, in fairness to Kyrie, he was like a conscientious objector last year. He was he had his cause, and they were trying to make him play, even though he didn't want to get the vaccine.
Yeah.
Everything else.
He's just like looking for ways not to have to play and still get paid. That's how I feel about it.
I won't comment on that, but I think that you just have to look at like this year. I think last year has to be ruled out because it's like literally no other time can you compare it to in the history of basketball or the world. So that's like mitigating circumstances.
Mm-hmm. Right. But yeah,
What about the bubble when he like decided not to go?
that's true as well.
I mean, I think that is the same thing. Like, we were
I know,
in the
but
midst of
he's always gonna like move forward these excuses. Like this year it's the bubble. I don't appreciate this.
Yeah.
And the next year it's the vaccine. Then it's like some injury that he's faking. Like it's always something with this guy.
There's some issues in Boston as well.
It's always something. Like it's like the last 6 years there's something. Every year. He's got one this year now. It's the trade demand. It's always something.
Yeah.
He's gonna try to spit out games because until I get traded, it's always something.
Yeah, I mean, look, he knows the risk. He knows that making this demand, he's trying to get his max contract. That's what he's trying to do. And this is his
He already had one.
negotiation. Well, he wants 4 years, $198 million, and the Nets did not offer that amount to him.
Well, he hasn't even played 198 games in the last 10 years. So calm down, Kyrie.
Right. Right. All right. Mostly 90s basketball card says, what is your trade deadline wish for your favorite team?
Kyrie Irving.
like, Josh is just talking shit about Kyrie, and then he's like, I really just want Kyrie, though.
Facts.
Yeah.
You guys have anybody that the Mavs are after?
No. Nope, just get healthy.
No rumors that you're... No rumors?
Oh, there's lots of stupid rumors. There's always stupid... Dude, the Mavs Twitter, I'm about to be on Team Jason Kidd, and just... Because he's always, making jokes about how stupid Mavs Twitter is. And they got so excited about Kyrie. They're, making these images. They got, Kyrie, Luka, and Christian Wood, and they're like, this is the best trio in NBA history. And it's just just stop. Just stop. And they get very excited over, just the dumbest little trades. It's this stuff isn't – you need to build with what you have. Build with what you have. And honestly, how much better is – people are going to get so pissed about this take, and they're going to think I'm an idiot, and that's fine. How much better is Kyrie going to be than Spencer Dinwiddie? Dinwiddie's shooting over 40% on threes this season. Over 40%. Has Kyrie ever done that? I don't know. I doubt it. He's shooting over 40% on threes. He's getting 18 points a game and 5 assists and 5 rebounds. Dude, we have good players on the Mavs. The problem is not the players. I hate this Luka needs help narrative. It's a stupid narrative.
So
there are good players on this team. The problem is this. We have a coach who loses every challenge he makes. We have a coach who can't design a last-second play. The Mavericks are 0-8 in games decided by the last possession. 0-8. That's not randomness. That's bad coaching, bad plays. And most importantly, Luka does not listen to Jason Kidd, and Jason Kidd will do whatever Luka wants to do. And you can't do that. You need a coach who coaches, not a coach who lets your star player do whatever the hell he wants. So that's where we need to fix things.
No, look at the Nets. They got rid of Steve Nash because he couldn't coach those three.
Yep, that's right. And one last thing, Josh. Jason Kidd's supposed to be this great defensive coach. The Mavs are 24th in defense. 24th!
I thought they were one of the top ranked last year.
They were much better last year.
The year before that, under Carlisle, they were even better.
Not defensively.
Probably because Maxi Kleber is out.
Oh, and also,
Amen, brother.
that is a big factor. And also, everybody shut the fuck up about Jalen Brunson. All right? We know that Jalen Brunson sucks on defense, so his only value is on offense. And the Mavs score more points per 100 possessions this year than they did last year. You can't blame it on Jalen Brunson. You can't. They are better offensively this year with Christian Wood than they were last year with Brunson. It ain't Brunson. It ain't Christian Wood. It's the coach. It's the coach. Bring me over there.
I thought you said you were a supporting Kid. Now you don't. Now you're
I
not.
go back and forth.
Yeah.
Just like me and Kyrie.
Yeah. Next week, I'll be talking about how great he is. All right.
Yeah, I don't want the Suns to make any moves either. Everyone on Suns, Facebook, and Twitter is like, trade Ayton for a bag of rocks. Fuck Ayton, trade him. I'm like, no, let's just get Booker back. Let's figure out what we have when him and Cam Johnson are back and campaign. Like, we've had crazy amounts of injuries this year. Just get the team back.
100%. Dude. Oh, I guess, a lot of teams have been impacted by injuries. And, like, you want to know my pet peeve? These stupid trade machine tweets and posts where it's just like, oh, I put my hypothetical trade machine tweet post, and it's like, yeah, it's like I'm trading Reggie Bullock and Tim Hardaway Jr. for LeBron because the contracts match. And it's just like, stop showing me your stupid hypothetical trades. I couldn't care less about these.
I don't think I've ever seen a trade machine or a Bill Simmons, this is going to happen. I'm hearing rumors of this, and it actually happens. It always, and then when the actual trade happens, like Rui Hachimura, not a single person was like, I'm hearing about Rui Hachimura to the Lakers guys next week. They've been in talks. It's going to go down. No, it's always like, this trade has already happened. I'm hearing report. It's done.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just let me know when the trades are done, because then I'll fucking care.
Yeah, totally. Oh, yeah. All right.
I've been hearing that Westbrook has been rumored to go to every team in the NBA for the last year, and he hasn't, so stop.
Dude, Bill Simmons made a tweet about a Russell Westbrook trade like 2 hours ago.
Dude, Bill Simmons made an entire episode about all the teams that are Tom Brady's rumored to go to, and the whole episode was under the assumption that he's definitely coming back. And then a week later, he retired, and that whole episode was a waste of time.
Right. Look, love Bill Simmons, one of my favorite content creators. I hate these tweets. As soon as I see this, my brain sees red. All right, so here's what he's saying. All right, so this is his trade machine. He goes, if Kyrie gets traded, I could see it being a 3-teamer between the Lakers, Utah, and Brooklyn, where the Lakers give up both of their picks, maybe one is top 3 protected, and the Lakers are going to get Kyrie, Malik Beasley, and Kelly Olynyk, 3 players that have good seasons. And he says, and Brooklyn is going to get Mike Conley and Jared Vanderbilt, and for unknown reasons, the Utah Jazz are just going to completely tank and take Russell Westbrook and Lonnie Walker the 4th.
Well, he's saying that because the freaking Jazz are like the 9 seed right now or whatever.
Yes.
They're not doing a very good job about getting tank for Wemby.
No, they're not. The Jazz are probably like 4 games out of 3rd place.
It's because the Jazz have really good coaching. They're like really maximizing the shit out of that roster.
They've got good coaching. They've got a pretty good roster. I don't think it's incredible, but it's pretty good. It's not a contender. But how about this? Your team's dealing with injuries. Mavericks are dealing with injuries. Dude, the Pelicans have lost 10 straight games. I don't want to know what the Twitter and the Facebook and the group chats would look like if the Mavericks lost 10 straight games.
Brutal.
Dude, they would need to put like trampolines around all the high rises in Dallas.
Dude, they lost 10 straight, and they're probably like 3 games back from the 2 seed.
Exactly. No, you're exactly right. They are. They're like 1 or 2 games back of being 500 right now. They're like the 10 seed or something. But like, there was a guy yesterday at the Pelicans game who just like, especially when the Pelicans were pulling off this comeback, which was very annoying, and he was just like, "Let's go Pels, let's go Pels," just so loud right in my ear. And I for the whole game, I was like savoring this moment. I was like, if the fucking Mavericks win, I'm going to turn around and say 10 straight and leave. but the Mavericks won, and I just was like, you know what? Fuck it. I'm not doing this. I'm not going to be rude, but oh my God, it got me through the game, just envisioning that moment that never materialized.
10 straight, bitch.
Dude, when I was at the game, the Nuggets Warriors game, like there was these awful Warriors fans, and
So,
I just like,
dude, that's all you gotta say. Awful Warriors fans, I hear you.
and I was just like, I started talking a lot of shit, but I had drank a few beers.
It wasn't Joe though. Joe, great Warriors fan.
He's a great Warriors fan.
We were sitting across the aisle from like the fucking Warriors owner or someone from their Zec, and Jordan Poole Curry comes in, and Chris starts screaming, "Jordan Poole's back up!" And the guy turns around and looks at Chris and starts laughing.
Yeah, that was a fucking zinger. That zinged on many levels. All right, self-employed boycott on there. No, we haven't gotten that desperate yet. Yeah.
You said it, not me.
No, it's true. It's
Wait,
fine.
no. This is the. Actually, I fixed it for you. No, I like Dallas. I don't think Denver would be as good of a city.
No, Dallas is a great city, man. Not mad about Dallas. All right. God, I think we've reached the end point of this episode. Let's pick our title.
All right.
Ready? All right.
Yep.
Okay. Shred that groin.
I love this part of the show. Because I get to remember all this stupid shit we said.
This is like the recap. All right. This is why doctors prescribe drugs.
That's really good.
The flow. Oh wait, what does it say? The flow that's been TikTokized.
That's bad. TikTok eyes? That doesn't make any sense.
Dude, I liked it in the moment. All right. Preying on the elderly.
Forgot about that. She's MLMing the elderly.
What inning are we in on sand? Urinating on unbottled sand. The crossover sponsored by Red Baron.
Dude, if you read that caption, you'd be like, what the fuck is this episode about?
10-second dopamine hit. And real hole, like going down a real hole.
Yeah, let's keep it moving.
South. And,
Oh, God. That's good stuff right there.
and
Crossover dude.
therapy is in session, which kind of like sums it all up, doesn't it?
No, okay. Can I make my pitch?
Make your pitch.
There were others that you wrote down, but
Here, tell me which one. Oh, I'm selling encyclopedias. Let me in.
That's good too. Here's my pitch. I don't need a lot of time. I think it should be the doctors prescribing drugs because we've got doctors in therapy, that sort of connection, and we've got the whole like dopamine, Adderall. We went down like a lot of drug things.
We did. Ayahuasca.
We had like a lot of therapy / quick fixes for your problems.
We did. Yeah, I love that. I'm good with that right there.
But I really like the encyclopedia one and
Preying on the elderly.
that one. I love that one.
you didn't prey on the elderly.
This is why doctors prescribe drugs. That is the winner. And you know what? I love it if the title is a direct quote, which that is. So
What's the other one? You had read them super fast. There was another one that you had that you said.
10-second dopamine hit. Shred that groin. I'm selling encyclopedias. Let me in. What inning are we in on sand? Urinating on unbottled sand. The crossover sponsored by Red Baron. I think that's about. Oh, the flow that's been TikTok guys.
There's also Christina says, "Leave me alone."
Christina says, "Leave me alone." Oh yeah. I also wrote down 90-10.
No, definitely. It's definitely
It's a doctor.
the elderly home one is funny too. That's the other one I was trying to think
All
of.
right.
Praying on the elderly.
Pray on the other. All right. Are we doing one next week?
Yep, I'll be back Friday afternoon. I'll be back.
And we'll have a lot to talk about because Kareem's record will have fallen. So,
Back.
see you guys next week.
Reaching the top.
A lot has changed since Card Ladder began. We started with 500 cards in our database, and now we have over 3 million cards and over 30 million sales.
For anyone asking who is the best, we putting our hands up.
With Card Ladder's sales history feature, we have virtually every card in our system. If the card you are looking for ever sold on one of these platforms, you can find it using Card Ladder's sales history, and you can add a card to your collection with just one click.
My time. None of you people can tell me to stop.
Plus, every card, no matter the last time it's sold, has an estimated value that we calculated using our state-of-the-art player indexes. Unlike other apps, when you see Card Ladder's verified checkmark, that means a researcher personally vetted each and every sale.
We know what it takes to be reaching the top.
We know what you want, because Card Ladder was created by collectors for collectors.
Know what it takes to be reaching the top.
Join the innovators, not the imitators. Card Ladder 2.0, constantly innovating. Try it for free. See why Card Ladder is the industry leader in sports card data.
We know what it takes to be reaching the top.
Card Ladder 2.0.